Okay, we're here. We're doing it, okay? This is going to be the vehicle tier list by someone who actually knows how to play the game. And I've wanted to do this for a while because I know I am right and everyone else is wrong. Which isn't always true. I feel like my opinions on these aren't exactly correct. To a full extent, I feel like they are a tiny bit biased. Like a tiny bit biased, but basically, we have a very clear first place. It goes to Burn Cycle. Burn Cycle has insane DPS. Probably at least like 1,500 or something like that. If not 2,000. I never really paid attention to it, but you know. So that's crazy, but then we have a decently close second. It doesn't nearly have anywhere near as much DPS as the Burn Cycle, because it has like double the fire rate, yes, but it has like a sixth the damage. So basically it has like a third the DPS, which, you know, isn't really very close. But the reason it is also so good is because of the fact that it has armor, because this is the vehicle with the most armor enhancing vehicle mods in the entire game, because most vehicles only give about 300 or 150 with the mods. However, this guy just gives 450 with both mods. And armor mods are like all you're really going to want to be worrying about, because armor is just it's the vehicle mod that is most fluent in all areas of the game. Because sometimes handling doesn't even matter, because handling, I don't think it does anything unless you're in an arena. And then acceleration isn't that great. I mean, it is still pretty important to have acceleration. We'll get onto that later. And then it's also pretty important to have good handling. Did I just say hand? No, I didn't. It is important to have pretty good handling. And then it's also pretty good to have good top speed. So anyway, it's not like there's any vehicle that doesn't have any of that. Oh wait, Shield Striker. Shield Striker is literally the worst vehicle in the game. So shut your mouth, you stupid Shield Striker glazers. I will punch you in the face. I hate this vehicle. I don't even want to be talking about it right now. But I want to talk about its flaws, because this is literally the vehicle definition in Skylanders of putting all of your stat points into one stat. They give it a move that makes it invincible to attacks until either you let go or it runs out, which it takes a while before it runs out, I'll tell you that much. And then they proceed to put all of its stat points into armor and weight, which so far what I know, weight decreases acceleration and then it increases armor. Okay, also apparently it increases your ram damage, which I can kinda understand. Now, third place, I'm gonna have to give to Shark Tank. Shark Tank overall is just a really solid vehicle, and it has alright DPS. It doesn't have as, oh wait, I forgot to mention, Shield Striker also has horrible DPS. Literally nothing makes up for its horrible stats, yet people continue to glaze it as if it's the best thing ever. Okay, so anyway, Shark Tank has pretty good DPS, not that great, but then also it has an invincibility move, the burrow. I mean, it doesn't do that much damage to the enemies, but it blocks hits. And it actually has good stats, guys. Okay, now, I would put Thumb Truck right here, but I'm gonna have to give this place to Hot Streak. Okay. There's only one reason for this. Now, Thumb Truck overall is a really solid vehicle. It has the highest armor in the game without mods. I'm not sure if Gold Rusher has a higher armor with mods, but its DPS really isn't that great. Pardon me. Really isn't that great overall, but you can make it work. Like, it's not horrible, but it really could be better. However, the Hot Streak has good movement and good DPS. Now, it's not the best DPS in the game, but it's better than Shark Tank, and I think it's better than Gold Rusher. Wait, but give me a second. I think it has better DPS. Yeah, it has better DPS if you do it right. That's surprising. But it doesn't have the greatest armor, and it puts most of its stats into speed. Which isn't horrible. It isn't bad. But, you know, it could be better. And I personally love this vehicle because it just works. Because, like, the speed makes you move so much faster. Well, the burn cycle's speed buff is really finicky, and it just doesn't work half the time. And Hot Streak is just continuously getting the speed buff, because you can just spam it. And then the attack, the fire grill, if you like sort of like hold it and then let go and then hold it again and then let go, etc. It just deals continuous high damage because its damage depreciates over time the longer you hold it. But obviously if you let go and you start holding it again, it has its original damage when you first hold on. Okay. Barrel Blaster. Barrel Blaster is a pretty mediocre vehicle. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying not everyone has... Well, first of all, it would probably be a bit higher if it was actually accessible on all versions. And then, its DPS with its primary isn't really the best, but its barrels and its secondary can be very powerful if you know how to do it right. So, if you're a beginner who isn't really very good at the game, then it's not really going to be very powerful for you. Now, all of these vehicles are actually in, like, order of how good they are for when I use them. I mean, if it was for beginners, Shield Striker would be a lot further up, because the thing is, I can actually dodge attacks, guys. It's not hard. It's not rocket science. All you need to do is hold left or hold right, and boom, the attack didn't hit you. I really hope I saved someone's run of Superchargers right there by saying that. And then, yeah, so it has pretty balanced stats, in my opinion. It doesn't have the greatest speed. Oh yeah, I forgot to say about Thumb Truck. Thumb Truck might be an S tier. Literally, Thumb Truck could have been an S tier if they just gave it a higher acceleration and maybe a higher top speed. Because it's not really very fast and it takes a while to start moving. But obviously, it's not as bad as Shield Striker. And then we have Crib Crusher. No way, it's that one YouTuber! Yeah, but the Crib Crusher vehicle isn't the greatest, okay? But its DPS is alright. Its DPS is actually better than Hot Streak's if you're a beginner and you don't know how to use it. If you don't know how to use Hot Streak. Because you just throughout the 3 bandmates, and then you just continuously use your primary. And then it does overall good damage, but it doesn't have great maneuverability overall, and it's like, it doesn't work for it. Overall, the vehicle as a whole just doesn't work. And I can't really say anything about it because there's nothing good about it, really. The only good thing about it is just that it can hit enemies from different perspectives in Land of the Undead. That's literally the only benefit I can think of. And it can hit long distance. Those are the only 2 benefits that it has to it. But like, you know, some other vehicles like Burn Cycle or Shark Tank can do that as well. So like, you know, okay, finally, last place. Well, Tomb Buggy is the worst vehicle, but not for me, okay? Now, Tomb Buggy isn't a bad vehicle, it's just it never gets to reach its full potential. Because, how it works is it shoots like a shotgun, which is a spread shot, and it has like 16 pellets or something like that, and either only one of them hits for like 125 damage, or all of them hit. And that's like, well, it's probably not 16, it's probably more like 8, but that's a lot of damage if it hits all of them, but 125 damage isn't really that much considering you can only shoot it like once per second. 125 damage per second is not good for a vehicle. Especially when comparing it to, you know, Burn Cycle. It's worse than, Shield Striker. Shield Striker probably has like 200 DPS. Because you just hold primary. But yeah, it's not good. However, if you're using it against the darkness, it's broken, okay? It hits all of its shots and literally has, like, some of the best DPS in the game. Like, it's literally compatible with Burn Cycle when fighting darkness. So yeah, I mean, I'm not necessarily surprised by that. It's just because of the big hitbox. But basically, this is my tier list of the vehicles in the order of how good they are for someone who actually knows how to play the game, by someone who actually knows how to play the game, for someone who only really cares about DPS and maneuverability and speed and being able to drift with it, although that doesn't really matter. And that's by someone who, well, uses that stuff. So yeah. So anyway, I really hope you despise my opinions, because that just means that I know that my viewers are wrong. And that means that I know I am a more intelligent being than you. And that means that Shield Striker sucks!